Hi there, how are you? I'm about to walk you through the anxiety tool. This is a simpler version of the one that I was introduced to. And this works for anxieties, fears, and those types of ideas. Right? Didn't mean to rhyme that. That's completely coincidental. Anyway, in column A, you are if you've worked out exactly what feelings you are like feeling in the moment, and you've worked out what type of anxiety that is in column A, try to define it in put a label on it in there, and then column B, define it. All right. And you can define it in any way you wish to. You can do bullet points, you can do sentences, and that sort of stuff. But it's really helpful to actually just go through the motions of writing it out at the fact and just letting yourself know that it's okay to feel that feeling. And then in column C, go through, well, what would the exact opposite of this be? And the exact opposite might be the result that you're after, and you're like having a hesitation. So in the examples there, I've got column A is an anxiety over cold DMs outreach, right? Which is one I actually struggle with myself. And the definition is definition looking deeper into that anxiety is the potential to be rejected by the person we're sending a message to. And in C, the extreme opposite is, well, if I was to actually get over my anxiety and do a good job of beginning this conversation, then it's a possible client that could come my way, which of course is a good thing. Right. Then in column D, rate the charge between 1 and 10, 1 being weak, 10 being strong, right? And how strongly you feel that. Just let yourself know that it's okay to feel it strongly in there, right? In column E is a bit of a stranger one than what you're probably used to encountering, and that is writing out the 10 plus benefits of the anxiety actually occurring in the way you've described it, right? And in my particular case, in the example that I've used with the cold DMs outreach, the potential for rejection, one of the benefits of that is it's a time saver. If they're outright saying, no, I don't need to, or they just leave me on red, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're never going to be a client. It just means that they're saving my time for now. At the moment, there's no potential for them to be a client, and that's okay. If I know that to be true, then I can move on to the next one that I need to do to find out if I can help that person. Okay? So an outright no can sometimes be a positive in the way that it's a time saver. And as far as it being a time saver, it means you're not wasting time on a conversation that's going to go nowhere. Now, what's the drawbacks? And then in column F, we're looking at the drawbacks of column C, which is, what's the drawbacks of having a possible client? Well, if I have a possible client, if that's the positive, the extreme opposite, well, the downside of getting that potential client is that I actually are having less excuses to do the cold DM outreach. I need to do more of them, because if I'm getting a positive result, it's proving that my methods are working, and that the cold DM method actually works, and I just need to do more of them. So the drawbacks might be, in that particular case, is I have less excuses to not send out the messages, right? And say, for example, if I had my wife as my accountability partner in that, and I was like discussing each of my actions with her, then she would call me out if I started making excuses, because she would just say, look, it's okay, just keep going. You have no excuses here. Just get the amount of no's that you know you need to get in order to get to the yeses, and you'll be fine. Right? If you understand it's part of the process, it's much less stressful, much more likely to overcome each individual anxiety as we identify these things. Now, in column G, we have, what are the 10 specific action steps that we can take now to lower the probability of that rejection happening? Now, in my particular case, it was, okay, I need to work on my messages to make sure that I'm very clear as to why I'm doing the contacting, why I'm doing those cold DM to this particular person, right? And And in column H, what are the 10 reasons that we can be grateful for this perceived fear, right? And in this particular case for myself, for the example, the one that stood out the most to me was that it was encouraging my ability to be more tactful and thoughtful into my approach as to how to do a cold DM, right? And to consider multiple strategies, those types of things, and I would be grateful for the anxiety actually occurring because it challenged me to put that extra thought into my strategy. Okay. And then you rate the charge again, right? How do you now feel about the action steps and the processes you can put in place to feel better about having experienced that anxiety and what you've actually learned from it? Rate the charge as to what you've learned. I probably should have put that in the column I, but that's what it means. And you'll see that by the time that you get to the end of the exercise, you will actually feel a lot better having experienced that slight anxiety earlier, because it caused this level of thought in this particular tool. And you'll find in future, you won't have this anxiety pop up nearly as often once you put those action steps out. So when you're going to do, for example, the cold DMs, and if this was your anxiety, in future, you won't have this anxiety come up and block your progress. You'll just go along and actually do the things you need to do. All right. So keep in mind that when it comes to anxiety and those types of ideas, anxieties, fears, and our biology is programmed to feel anxiety as a natural part of our experience, right? It is not meaning there's something wrong with you. That just means you haven't learnt the skills in order to manage your anxiety and how to make it serve you rather than block your progress. All right. It developed in very long time ago in our evolutionary development from trying to identify threats out in nature as we wandered and did our hunter-gathering type lifestyle many thousands of years ago, identifying the snake in the grass, all right, making us feel the anxiety, getting the energy boost that we needed to make a very quick decision as to, are we going to stand still? Are we going to run? Are we going to fight? Those types of ideas flood to the mind as to, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? That's why we feel that extra pressure of runaway thoughts when we feel anxiety, because we're supposed to make a quick decision and then let the anxiety soothe. But not many people have been taught to do this in recent decades, and this is where this particular tool will come in most useful for you. Okay, so if you've gotten to the process, if you've made enough progress that I've directed you to use this tool, really do give yourself a pat on the back, because it means you've been making progress already and you're doing really well. Okay, so take a few deep breaths and print this out as many times as you need per whatever anxiety you feel. However often, if you need to do it 250 times, do it 250 times. You might want to just put a notepad with these types of columns if you're going to do it that many times, so you can save yourself some ink. But for the first couple of times you use this tool, print it out, use it the way it's designed, and you may even customize it so that it fits your needs more so over time. But try not to miss any of the columns, because it's very important to actually make it so you can manage this as a great result. If you know how to manage your feelings and you're able to conquer anxieties as they come up, because our life experience is a varied experience, you never know what strengths you're going to need in your future, right? Well, this is going to make a lot of difference in your ability to make really great decisions, make really great progress, and in many cases also make a lot of abundance for yourself and your family as well. Anyway, so please let me know how you go in using this tool. I'd love to hear about how much it helps to be able to use it, and the types of progress you can make when you use it. And I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.